Hello everybody, this is James Diboe, dedicated to Original People, and with us is Scoveland. We're out in South Africa, and I'm with special guest today, Tyron Boltman.
G'day, y'all.
How you doing, my brother? You alright?
Good.
Bless.
Good in
You know what I
yourself?
mean? Yeah, man. We're just out in South Africa now, Cape Town, and I'm just doing an interview with him about his life. This is part one. There's also going to be a part two, speaking on the history of South Africa. But basically today, what it is we're just here to discuss his life growing up. I mean, he's lived that life, you know what I'm saying, and like he's tried to turn his life around a lot better. So we can start with you, Tyrone. The beginning of your life and where you are today. I understand you've been through the trials and tribulations. If you want to tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, man. So my name is Tyron Boltman. 31 years of age. I was born and raised out in South Africa, born in Johannesburg. Moved out to Cape Town, 5-6 years old. Moved out to Cape Town, yeah. And yeah, things are the way things are in South Africa. It's a totally different way of life compared anywhere else in the world, but we do what we do to survive. Yeah.
Now, what's interesting, in Liverpool or in England or in America, we just see as black people. Now out here in South Africa, it's a little different. You have to be like 100% black to say black,
yeah.
And you have the word coloured here. Coloured, so obviously you'll come under Cape Coloured.
Cape Coloured, yeah. Cape Malay, Cape Coloured. The same thing.
Okay. So now with the Cape Coloured, would you say there's like a separation with you? Is the separation, I understand in the class system, there's a separation, but as individuals, how are you with other black people? Like, you have a good relationship with them yourself?
Yeah. So with the separation, it's government separates us. So I classify as originally I classify as a brown person, derived from the Khoisan, but as the government classifies us as colored. So me being a colored as my ethnicity by the government, I have a good relationship with black people generally. Look, at the end of the day, it's where we as coloreds, brown people, have to work with the Bantu, black people, constantly to get by. So we work hand in hand to get by. It's not common that we work with the white man to get by, but I have a general look. Everyone has their own intentions and their feelings about different things. So I would say that me generally and my family, as far as I know, we work hand in hand with the black people to get by, but it doesn't go two ways. Normally, we as brown people, colored people, we generally help whoever. We generally helpful people. We help whoever. We just help to get by, to build. With the black people, the Bantu, they have a different culture. They have a different way of life and a different understanding, as well as an attitude of life. So they generally only help their brethren, their brother, their sister, whereby they call each other cousin, uncle, neighbor, whatever, it's brother or sister. So they generally, most of the time, help their brother and sister get by. A lot of them do help the colored person and even the white person as well, but majority, I would say, would help their own kind just get by.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Bantu, interesting one. A lot of podcasts I've done, if you watch a few of them, I speak a lot about Bantu. I'm fascinated by the migration from, you say they left eastern Nigeria and populated pretty much nearly every part of Africa. Later on, I understand that when the Khoisan are indigenous to South Africa, now they have declined in numbers a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, they declined in numbers. Now, for yourself anyway, you've been through a lot in your life. You were talking last time about you suffered knife wounds, was it? And you've been shot. Multiple times. So how old is you when you went through these experiences? And first of all, when did your life begin to turn around? I mean, how was life as a child growing up?
Okay, so I was raised in a religious house. We were Pentecostal Christian people. Grew up in the church.
As a Christian?
As a Christian,
okay, yeah.
So my mother, a very religious person. So I grew up in a Christian home, Pentecostal Christian home, and my father was in the army before he had me. I was the first child.
Right.
So before he had me, he was in the army for 12, 13 years. So yeah, and army on the side is also different. I'm sure it's the same, but with the army, they generally make you a hard person. You build tough. They break you down completely with all emotional and things like that. So they generally build you up tough. So it was very, very difficult, me being the firstborn, with my dad, because my dad wasn't one. You couldn't show love, basically. So my mother was the one that had to show love. My dad was the one that showed principle, morals, and dignity and those things. He was one for morals, basically, and respect and discipline. Very much was a very, very disciplined guy. So yeah, with my dad, with me it was very difficult. For my dad as well, raising a child, it was very difficult for me with my dad as well, being a child. And my mother was the one to even out things, keep the balance, keep the peace, and show love, and things like that. But then as you grow up, things start to make sense. You get different kind of love, respect from your family members and what you do get at home and things. And in those things, I started to rebel, and I seeked fatherly, I would say, love somewhere else. I respected my dad. I did shit scared of him really, but I respected my dad. As just I searched advice, I would say. That interaction, son to father interaction with my uncles, relatives, and things like that. And I started to rebel. It was at the age of, I don't know how old was I then, but it was at the 5th grade. We have grades here, so it's 1 till 12. So I think at the 5th grade, primary school, I think it's kindergarten, something.
Yeah. So when did you say you started? When did the street life come into your life?
When I was like 5th grade, then he kicked me out.
Oh, 5th grade?
5th grade, yeah.
Well, it's quite young, doesn't it? I mean, when you say 5th grade...
5th grade, I was...
That's it. How old's that, like?
7, it's grade 7. 15, 14, 13, 12, 13 years old.
12, 13, you were living street life?
On the street, yeah.
So he kicked you out? You got kicked out and you were living on the streets?
I was kicked out of the house, yes, because my dad was a very physical person. Got in a fight with my mother. I protected my mother, and then generally kicked me out, and then I was out on the street. But when I was kicked out, I left as well. I just went as far as I could, and I stayed there. So I was kicked out, was on the street for how long was that? For 3 years. 3 years. 3 years, wow.
Yeah, so that you're really young then, weren't you? As far as like your experiences and that. Yeah. So so how old were you when you suffered being shot and being stabbed? So it was on my 2nd year being out on the street. Yeah. Got in a fight with some dudes. We were 4 of us young ones out on the streets amongst a whole lot of adults generally living out on the streets, but 4 of my street friends, close street friends that I met out on the streets, and we worked together to, food and clothes and things like that. Generally stealing where we could, not robbing or anything, just stealing where we could, just for ourselves to survive on the street. Survival. So it was the 2nd year of being out on the streets. Got in a fight with some other dudes from another area where they were out living on the streets, and got in a fight, and then one just pulled out a gun, shot at us. Wow. Shot my friend in the back, in the shoulder. Ooh. But just on top
shot him in the shoulder,
Yeah.
shot me in the leg,
Wow.
and another friend they shot, but was like a flesh wound.
Yeah.
So
you live in the shootout.
when they shoot out,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
were all running down one road, and they were standing at the end, and they were just shooting, and
Wow. So you have
We
to
got
shoot. You have
hit.
to shoot them back.
we didn't know they had guns on them. I mean,
Oh,
if we did,
okay.
then we would have never, but because
Okay.
they had the street where a lot of people and there was
Yeah.
food places to eat out, so there was a lot of food being chucked out, fresh food, and we wanted this place so that we can eat out of the dumpsters and things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And they were there, and we needed to fight them to get this place for ourselves to survive, because
right.
this is where fresh food is thrown out, so we don't have to ask and
Yeah.
things like that. But then we didn't know they had guns. They shot at us, and
Crazy, man.
we ran. I grabbed my friend, me with this bad knee that I was shot in. Grabbed my friend and ran with him. And
Wow.
got-
So wait a minute. So you've been shot. Your friend's been shot, and you're still trying to help your
to
friend.
help him, yeah.
Wow.
Because we together.
That's,
my-
that's
it's my
powerful. That
street
because some
brother.
people, if they just get shot, they're just interested in saving themselves. That's interesting that you're both being hit, and you're trying to help your friend. How old were you when this happened?
15,
15.
14, 15.
14, 15.
I was the eldest. They were 1 year, 2 years less than me, the four of them. So I was the eldest, just a year older than, or 2 years older than. The one was the youngest, and the other two were one age, were a year younger than me, and I was the eldest, 15 at that time.
Wow.
That happened.
I mean, you're living the life from a very, very young age. You can see, like you said, you start off with, you've seen your father was in the army, your mum pretty much raised you. And also you were saying about being kicked out on the streets, and then you happen to survive, any way you can, and you get into problems and people shooting at you. So, did this continue after? So after you did what you did, you saved your friend now. Well, you're dragging your friend to where you
Safety.
to safety,
To
yeah.
get him out of the street, out of the area.
So did an ambulance get called, or what? What happened?
He died, unfortunately.
Oh, he passed away.
He passed away. So
Ooh.
we ran to a train station, and at the train station, because it was the only place that would be still open, I would say 8 o'clock in the evening, ran to the train station, asked the securities to call a ambulance to get him, because we were a distance away from a police station, and we were street kids, so we don't want to run in anyone's house. So we ran to the nearest place where we can find people to call an ambulance or so, and then they called, but then before the ambulance came, he passed, died, and then my other two friends, we had to leave him and to get out, because I knew that I was out on the street, and I knew that my parents didn't know where I am, and I generally had to leave him to not get caught by the police, because if the police catches us, we're going to be taken in and then check if we missing, lost people, and then
Okay.
we will. But I didn't wanna. I was fine as
You know
I
what?
felt on the street. I didn't want.
Nope.
Okay,
Okay.
so let me explain to you like this. So, why I stayed out and why I left being out on the street was because I had two siblings. I had a younger brother and a younger sister, and my dad I was the rebellious one, and my sister was the apple of my father's eye. My brother was treated off, or a bit like I was treated. My dad treated me bad, completely as shit.
Wow.
And I was asked by my mother to maybe go stay with a relative, because she needed to keep the peace with my father for my brother and my sister. So in if you put it in sense, I left for the well-being of my brother and my sister, because if I continued to stay, my dad was going to continue to be an aggressive person generally in the
Right,
house.
Okay.
So I felt if I was out, then he wouldn't have any issues. He would be a nicer person, basically to give my brother and my sister a better life growing up.
Okay.
So that's why I decided. I told her when I left I will go stay with someone, but when I left I never went to go stay with anyone. I went as far as away as I could, and there I stayed. So Yeah, I was.
So when you so was this another occasion when you said yes, you got stabbed, or was it slashed? Or
Another occasion when
another occasion. Okay.
I got shot on one occasion, and then I got stabbed 3 times on one occasion, and I got shot on another occasion in my back.
Whoa. Oh, okay. So the first time what you were telling me before, this is when you got shot in the leg, was it?
Mm-hmm.
And your friend got murdered.
My friend got murdered. Yeah, shot in the back.
Oh, bloody hell! So what happened the second time? When was it? Was this the knife wound?
The knife wound.
Is this separate from the next gun wound?
Separate. So after the 3 years that I was out in the streets, it got too much, I would say, for me. I just didn't like the fact that we're living this way, and I just didn't like it. And then I decided, I decided to go to family member's house, my aunt, and then I asked if I could stay there. It took long for her to give me an answer, because she had a few of my cousins as well staying with her, because of my aunts or whatever being on drugs or alcohol abuse or whatever. But it's generally the eldest relatives in the family that is the ones that takes care of those that's parents are nowhere, that's parents doesn't care, or parents died, or parents of drug or alcohol abuse or whatever. So I went to this aunt who already had 4 of my cousins living there and 2 of her own kids living there, if I could stay there. And it took I think about like 2-3 days. She said yes after that, and I stayed there. Obviously I had to work in the house and go out and find something to do to bring money in, because she was getting we call it a grant from the government.
Okay.
The government pays you.
Yeah.
And then just put on the aircon.
Yeah.
Should I put it on?
That's okay. Yeah. So anyway, so the second time you got shot, if you go into that, because this is obviously is this the same people who did it, or is it different people?
The second time, the second time I got stabbed. So when I got stabbed, it was when I moved out from my aunt's and moved into a cousin's of mine's house. And so at my cousin's place, started off at my cousin's place. So when my cousin's place has a lot of crime and gangsterism, so to survive there, you have to be joining one of 3 gangs numbers.
Okay, so wait a minute. So in order to survive, you have to be with a gang.
You have to be with a gang. Otherwise, if you're not with a gang, you're classified as a weakling, and then you would just not survive. They're going to rob you constantly, they're going to stab you, they might even kill you.
Okay, well, deep. That's really deep, that. I mean, so basically, get down or lay down kind of thing.
Get down or lay down, yeah. Get stand with us, or
yeah.
You're not welcome here. We don't want to see your face here, like that.
So this neighborhood that you live in, is this, would you say, a lot of poverty?
A lot of poverty. Generally poverty.
Yeah.
Because we are still separated. Yeah, we colored people live in Cape Flats,
yeah.
The flats. Black people would live in townships, and white people would live in suburbs. So different sections, different races, ethnicity of people. Colored people, black people, and white people.
So the white people always put themselves at the top, don't they?
They are in suburbs, yeah.
So wherever they go in the world, because they're colonized, and so at the end of the day, they conquer and divide the black and brown.
Correct.
So as long as you're wise to that,
yeah,
that's the main thing anyway. As long as you're wise to that. Now, back to what you were saying anyway. If you get back to what you're saying, and also what I want to add in is it legal to have guns in South Africa?
It's not legal. It's generally to protect yourself. So it's for protection. It's not legal by the law. It's not.
You can't own a gun.
Have an unlicensed gun.
So you can get a license to own a gun.
But it's gonna take long. It's gonna take you 10 years for a resident to get a license, to get a gun license.
Now, what about the white people? Can they get a gun straight away?
Yes.
Well, so the law works one way for one people, but they made the law, so
they made the law,
it's
so
typical.
they can look past it.
Yeah.
They're the ones that sign papers So if I go to get a gun license, I'm gonna have to wait 10 years because they're gonna have to do an investigation on me to make sure that I don't have any trial of violence. My neighbors are good with me. They're gonna have to get, I think, 20 in your area, 20 people in your area to sign a paper to show that this is never a violent guy, I've never had any issue with this guy, and things like that. But if a white person walks into a gun shop and puts money down and says, I want this,
you get to
please sign, yes sir, enjoy it.
Pure racist, blatantly racist, you know what I mean? And it's funny coming out from England, and then, you know, well, obviously the European run things where we are, but we speak out more. I don't know how it is as far as speaking out. I know he's at the apartheid and all that, but one thing about me, from a child growing up, I was taught to be proud black. I'm an African, you know what I'm saying, Nigerian roots, and so I always gravitated to our people. Do you know what I'm saying? I didn't mix with too many white people, or I didn't mix with too many other people. There were some Asian friends we had in that, but I was just more comfortable around my own. And I want to say around my own, we don't have a separation what you have. So a man could be the darkest man to the lightest man. They're all my brothers. You know what I'm saying? And we're all being oppressed. We're all being conquered and divided, but we've got to be wise to that. If we get back to what you're saying, Henry, continue slowly.
Yeah, so at my cousin's place, I was forced then to join a gang.
Forced to join a gang.
Forced to join a gang. Because you're not asked, do you want to live a normal life or do you join a gang? If they see you, they ask you who you are, what you're doing here. They have to explain these things. If you explain to him, he's going to tell you, I don't want to see you here again. If I see you tomorrow, I'm going to shoot you, I'm going to kill you. So your warning is today.
Wow, so you get the warning that if you don't join a gang. Now in these gangs, how many, what's the numbers of the gangs? Is it like
26, 27, 28.
Wow, and how many gangs do you say? 3 different gangs in the area? 3
different numbers. Gangsters is different, like the gang names is different. So you get like a lot of different gang names, but the principle behind the gangsters is 3 numbers. The 26, the 27, 28. So each of these numbers does things differently. Like the 26, their whole principle with their whole number revolves around money, robbing people, stealing, burglary, and things like that. That's what their number stands for. 26.
26.
And when
you say 26, 26 members is the
26 members, yes, gang members, 26 gang members. Not 26 of them, but the gang members they classify as the 26 gang.
Okay.
Yeah, and then 27 would be the ones fighting. They would be the hitmans. They would be the ones going to do crime. Like they're the ones that are going to do the hit and runs and you know, things like that. So they ones that draw blood, basically what the number stands for. They're the ones to go and fight to draw blood, and they do the dirty work.
Wow.
And then the 28s or high ranked, they are the ones that controls things. They are the ones that have a say. They are the leaders. They are the ones that just sits back, sends people out to do things, and that's them.
So they run things.
They run things.
So those 3 gangs, do they work together or are they enemies?
They are enemies. Some areas, most areas, they are enemies. Some of them work together to try and play out different people, try and get rank. So it's basically like a chess game. So the king, the queen, the king would be the 28. The queen would be the 27, and what is the knight? The knight would be the 26. So that's how it works.
Okay.
That's basically a chess game. So the king is the one that moves small spaces, but he's still in control, the one that you actually have to defeat to be powerful enough. The 27 is the one that moves in all angles. The 27 is the most neutral one. That one can do anything, can walk anywhere. And the 26ers are the ones to you know, set the tone. They are the ones to put in direction and things like that. So the 26ers can't move wherever. They can only move in their close areas. The 27 can move freely.
Okay.
The kings can't actually move much.
The kings,
they need to be stopped. They need to be grounded. They need to be in that area, because when they move around, the 27s can overpower them and take leadership to get a higher ranking. The 26ers even can do it, but because the 27 is such a powerful number, and because it's such a powerful rank, they need to understand speaking gangster languages and understand how things work, street talk, and how, understand how things work for them to be on top. So it takes them, it's an awesome.
It's deep. It's really deep. That I mean, the numbers 26, 27, 28, and very interesting. I mean, like, this is very different to how things work where we're from, and of course we have all trouble and gangsters, and but the way it runs here, it's more serious. I mean, you don't have to join a gang in England. I mean, yeah, people did join gangs in certain different parts and that, but I suppose, like, in your situation, poverty was a next level. Like, we get benefits, at least in England. So we don't know. I don't know. You don't get benefits here.
No.
So if you don't work, you don't earn.
You don't work,
if you don't hustle or whatever. Wow. So anyway, now
I've sorry to break your word. I've heard as well, if you a single parent, like a mother, they give you a flat in London, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, anywhere, it could be anywhere in England. If you don't work and you're on the benefits, as long as you're not in a private place, well, private, yeah, they won't pay the full. Sometimes you might have to add your own, but if you're in a council home, they pay it if you don't work.
That's different, yeah.
And you get like a little, well, you get people on the get the dole, people get. There's lots of you could be on the sick, and there's lots of benefits anyway you get. So there's no way we could compare it to a poor person in England to a poor person in South Africa. Impossible.
Like me, I have a job, I have a car, I have kids, but I'm still a poor person. Like I've explained to you the last time, there's no level really of poor if you're not if you are not well off, then you're poor. You are no less than the people on the street. You just have these things, but there's really no measure of poor. We fall in the bracket of poor. I fall in the bracket of poor. Regardless if I have these things, I fall in the bracket
now,
of
you see,
poor.
when you're talking about the 3 different gangs, there must be someone above them, innit?
The government.
Yeah. Well, I'm not silly, you know what I mean? Of course, I'm always onto all these little tricks and all that, you know what I'm saying? So there's always the white man at the top, look. You know, what's the saying? There's a saying: every great crime, master crime, there's always a white guy behind it.
Correct. And there is the white guy.
And I'm using, when I say white guy, you know, it could be Dutch, English, whatever, but to me, it's a white man.
Correct.
So it's the same man to me, just different parts of Europe, the front. So, yeah. So basically, how did you make the transition anyway to come from that life to going and getting a job?
So
you're age 35 or something now?
35.
Yeah.
So joining the gang, I got in a fight with another gang. Number was the 27. I joined the 27 gang, learned the language, learned street knowledge, and had to fight a different gang, different number. And then I ended up being I don't know what you call it, but when fighting 3-4 people, they gang up on you.
Jump here.
I got jumped by three guys. I was fighting, me and 2 of my friends. We were 3 fighting 3. My 2 friends left me, ran away, and I literally had to fight those 3 guys on my own.
Oh, so there's no loyalty with them?
No loyalty.
Well,
and then I was left to fight those 3 guys, fought them, got stabbed in the hand, got stabbed in my head twice, got stabbed in my shoulder, and got stabbed in my arm over here.
Wow.
So the 2 of them stabbed me with knives, and the other one actually stabbed me with a butter knife, which is this one.
You're lucky to survive all this though as well, and still be here talking about it now.
And as time went to the hospital, obviously got stitches, and then I just completely decided the area is not the life for me, because to be honest with you, the people that I had on the streets with me were more loyal than this gang bullshit.
Well, this is the thing when we talk about loyalty. Some people think that they can link up with you're the new man and you can link up the cliff. Well, these are the people that you ain't grown up with.
Correct.
I mean, this is trust. You gotta have the people you trust, the people you grow up with and you know well. But when you join this new gang or this new person, Yeah, you might do a little stealing together, a little crime together,
But if you are caught, you're on
there's
your
no
own.
loyalty though.
No loyalty.
I can clearly see that.
So there's teamwork,
Yeah,
but there's no loyalty.
there's no loyalty.
So
Yeah.
if you in this team,
No love loss.
yeah, and there's you get caught out, then you're on your own. You literally on your own. For him to make sure that he gets back out in the street and does his job, he will leave you behind. So you basically have to be like this
Yeah.
at the end of the day. If you like this, they leave you behind and they move up. So you either you make it or you don't. Live that life of the street. Moved to another aunt of mine, and then there my uncle actually asked me if I wanted a job, if I wanted to do a job. I left school, never had finished school, but never had a job after that. And then not actually, I took a 2-year gap from school. My uncle asked me, you know, we want to continue things and whatever, finish school. Then I got a job. So when I got a job, all my money that I earned, I gave to him. He made sure that I had traveling, I had everything that I needed, and I still did my studies as well. Went and did everything, did my studies, got my bursary, BCom, and then after that I applied for other jobs and things like that, and then I just couldn't get anything because I was overqualified is the word.
Oh, that's a silly word. That's the most silliest word. Overqualified.
Overqualified. And then if you apply for something that's higher than what you studied for, then you are underqualified.
So why don't
You are never qualified.
So it's okay to employ someone underqualified, but if you're overqualified, that's just
different.
It's all nonsense.
And it's for the same thing that I studied for.
It's all nonsense.
I studied for management.
Like I say, back to the European again.
Yeah.
Please, you know, I don't let the European breathe because I know truth, and I've always got that thing in my mind where I'm observant, and it's the same pattern. When you see the same pattern, the same movement, the same type of people doing things, it's the same man to me. You know what I'm saying?
It's the same man.
Same system. You know what I'm saying? Coming from the European.
So yeah, and then I did that, finished that, and then it was just one morning where I left. I just stopped trying. But then my uncle helped me out actually at the company that he worked. Then I got in at that company, worked there for 3 months, and then just this one morning when I came from work, I was working on the night shift. I came out of work, got out of the bus, and I actually walked home opposite. Just needed to walk over the street. And then this was around about 6 a.m. in the morning. Sun is out. It's in the summertime. Sun is out. Then I got stopped by these 2 guys, and then the one grabbed me by my neck, and they were asking me these questions, but they were speaking this gangster language. So I can't speak this gangster language when I'm not in my gang, or when I left my gang, or outside on the street. But when I can speak it is inside jail, because the language comes from inside of the jail, our jail. So for me to protect myself against these people, for me to show them that, look, I know my gangster languages and things like this, I had to speak it. And when I spoke it, I did not know that this person was a 28 gang member.
28 gang member.
Rank higher than me. So me taking on a 28 gang member, a rank member higher than me, it's risky for me because I am a rank below him. So if he speaks this thing and makes understanding of this thing better than what I understand it, then I am useless. Then he can do what he wants to with me. It's basically like the game, the chess game. So if he beats me in this language, he wins, I lose. So now my life is at his hands. Spoke this to protect myself, not knowing that this was a 28 member, because if I knew, then I would have given my things. Whatever I had, and what I had on me was what I had on me. If I didn't have this on me, I didn't have anything. I had my cell phone, my wallet, and all these things. So if I lost these things, it was gonna take me 3, 4, 5 months to get money to get these things back, maybe even a full year. So I would have lost my job, because how am I gonna wake up in the morning? How am I gonna message if I'm late, if there's a problem? Without my ID and my cards and things, how am I gonna move out on the streets? If I get caught, I can go to jail. So these things that I had on me was things that I needed, and these guys wanted to take it from me. So I spoke the language to protect myself. Then when he replied to me with what the 28 call Nongalos the number. And I mean, I was struck. I was like, hey, this is a 28 rank gang member. And he won me in this, speaking of language, this chess game that we're speaking with a language. And there I was, I couldn't say anything. I could give him back again of this language, speak further on as my knowledge. But you won me. So now it's up to you to decide what you want to do. Took off my things and wrestled me to the ground, shot me in the back.
Wow.
Stood up, walked away.
Ooh.
And I got up, had to go run to a friend of mine, took me to the hospital. Luckily, it was fat that he caught just beneath my liver.
Wow.
At the bottom, yeah, just the side,
Wow.
beneath my fat. Got rushed to the hospital, obviously, and had to stay there for a while. Got back out on the streets, but then continue working. Got my things, explained to my uncle what happened. My uncle helped me get my things back, and just completely moved on. You know, because I lived a life of so much negativity, it didn't faze me anymore. It's like the more negativity life or the government throws at me, I always blame them.
Yeah.
The more negative things the government throws at me, the stronger it makes me, and the better it makes me in understanding what I need to do to move on. Because they put me, it's like, you see when they have the maze and they put the mouse in there, the mouse is gonna go through every corner, but he's gonna know when he hits a corner, turn around, go back, because you need to get out of this maze. So every corner they give me, I'm gonna turn around and go to another route. I'm gonna go another direction. When I do find a corner here as well, I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna make sure I get out of this maze that they put me in. At the end of the day.
And you did it.
And I did it. I made it out of the maze.
I come across. So how long have you been working straight now?
I've been working straight. I've worked at Butler's Data for 10 years.
10 years? Okay.
And then this is my second job. This is was actually supposed to be a part-time job now for COVID. And then after COVID, got this job and I just stuck it in.
Yeah, well, you know, lived a positive life and, you know what I mean, like trying to survive. You got children as well.
2 boys, 9 years old, and a daughter, 5 months old.
So you don't want them to see, you know, you want them to have a better life.
Better life, yes. I now have the knowledge to actually tell them, look, going in this direction, that's gonna happen. Going in this direction, that's gonna happen. Your actions,
you're living proof.
Your actions are the outcomes that you are gonna have to face at the end of the day. So whatever you choose to do, be prepared to face the outcome. Be prepared to face reality.
It. You want to be a gangster, be prepared.
Be prepared to get shot, be prepared to get stabbed, be prepared to go to jail and get sodomized. I mean, in the jail where we are, the jail that we have here, Paulsmore, they literally, if you're not part of a gang and you come in, you're gonna have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys sodomize you each night. If you don't want them to sodomize you, you're gonna have to sodomize them by force. So that is the jail system that we have here, and it's legal. People smoke and do drugs in jail because where else can they put you? They can't put you in a jail. So if you're in jail and these things get smuggled in, it's legal.
Wow.
So our jail system is messed up here. Where this gangster number and things come out of his jail. So it comes out of there, it hits the streets.
Did you ever end up in jail?
Never. I ended up in a holding cell in a police station, but never got convicted or anything because by miracle I was in there for 3 days, Friday, Saturday and Sunday in a holding cell. By miracle, when I had to face the judge, my docket got missing, so I was never convicted of anything because my paperwork literally disappeared. So I was sent home and just told not to come back here again.
Well, I watched a documentary one time about South African jails, and it looked like ruthless.
It's a messy
place. Ruthless.
You're supposed to be 40 people in a jail cell. You're 180 people in there. So it's not double, not triple, 5 bunk beds. So next to 5 bunk bed there's another one, next to 5 bunk bed there's another one, next to 5 bunk bed there's another one.
That just sounds crazy.
And these bunk beds are controlled by the gang in the cell.
Okay.
So if you come in that cell, even though you a gang member already, you're going to have to sleep on the floor. Just without a mattress, anything, because they give you a mattress when you come in and a blanket, but these things get taken out for you the moment you enter the cell, and I have to sleep on the floor for 2 weeks. So in that 2 weeks, you can decide but when you sleep on that floor, you obviously get sodomized and you get you get abused and you get hurt and things like that. But for that 2 weeks is your trial. So in that 2 weeks, if you decide or anything else, I want to join or whatever, then you speak, and then there's a whole rule of what to do and
a bunch of rules to come with it.
Yeah, so there's a whole step behind it. But when you go inside, everything gets taken away from you, and you literally at the mercy of the gang inside of the cell.
Wow, interesting story that though, you know what I mean. But I'm gonna do I have to do a part 2, do you know what I mean? Because I mean, there's probably a load of other stuff we can touch on. Just coming near to the end of the show. But I want to thank you. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. The story, I mean, I've been through many different people, but your story very, very unique. It's you've lived a real serious life, you know what I'm saying? And this is down to the conditioning over in South Africa, which, you know, I really feel for our brothers out here, you know, since we go back apartheid, you go back before that. But any last words you want to say anyway?
I just wanna, I wanna encourage you guys, man. Look, we are all people at the end of the day. Doesn't matter what color, doesn't matter how you look, it doesn't matter your ethnicity, it doesn't even matter your religion or what your spiritual views are. Respect the next person, cherish the next person, and honor the next person as well. Respect them also, because my situation, to be honest with you, might seem like the max for you guys. It might seem like there's nothing worse. Believe me, the next person might have a much worse story than mine. The next person might have their story might not be a good turnout like mine is or was.
Right, at the end, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
So my chapter that I ended up in my life is a chapter now of receiving. I've finished my chapter of growing. I finished my chapter of getting to where I need to be now. From now on, I just receive. I mean, I've trained myself. I've learned to cherish what I have and respect the next person, because if you don't have, if you need to understand to get by, you need to help the next person. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need to put out positivity in the world, and how you do that is show respect to the next person, show loyalty, show kindness, show love to the next person.
That's
because
right, bro.
When you throw a stone in the water, there's a ripple effect. So at the end of the day, when it bounces off something, it ripples back to you.
Consequences,
yeah. So send out positivity in the world, and positivity will come back to you.
And you're a very humble man as well. Explain that to people there who have an even worse ending than yourself.
Yeah,
and that,
people
you know
have
what I mean?
a worse ending, and some of these stories, even at my age, started from way before my story started, or my most of my difficulty started, and they still in that situation. And I try to do my best at the end of the day to encourage you as well. Look, my time came shorter than what your time might come, but stick with it. Just do positive, stick with it, be strong for the sake of yourself. Be strong, you will make it through if you stay positive, if you stay kind, if you stick with loving the next person. Your happiness, your joy and your receiving will come much earlier than you think, and big as well.
So positivity is the end goal, rather than live a whole negative life, you know what I'm saying? Well, peace anyway, brother. Bless, man. And
Yes,
yeah, we'll do this again. I can't wait to watch this back. People over in England or wherever they are in the world be watching this. And this is, I really appreciate your time, you know, and we're going to go on some trips soon now. You're going to be taking me around, because I link with the local people, don't need to link with the Tourners, the Thomas Cooks, the Tui, you know what I mean? Wherever I go in the world, I link with our people, and that's what I'm about, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid to, some people say, oh, be careful, local people and all this one. Sometimes you got to be careful with these big tour operators who are ripping you off. And you know, so you just got to be smart. So bless up, a young Napoleon, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. State your name, brother. Tyron, yeah, man. Now this brother, yeah, he's lived that life, man. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to get his life together now, but man got bullet wounds in him. He's got knife wounds in him. You know what I mean? But he's still surviving, man. This brother.
It's a rough life, yeah, outside in Cape Town, but we survive at the end of the day, man, because we have to. We human. All of us are human, so
Yeah.
we make the best of it. We survive, and yeah, we make life good
Yeah,
for
man.
ourselves.
He was living that life, man, you know what I mean? But, you know, at the end of the day, he's found himself now, he's a working man and that, and that's what it's about, man, you know what I'm saying? But salute to them anyway. He reminds me of young Napoleon of the Outlaws, you know what I mean?
Yeah.